Video is on indices, okay? So what we're going to be doing first, we're going to be doing question 29, is that correct? 29? Okay, now question 29. The first answer here is A is going to be 2 to the power of a half. I actually did no work there, that's actually a learn off. I know that the square root means to the power of a half. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, 8 is a bigger number than 2. What we have to figure out is how many 2s will divide into 8. So what I know is it'll be 3 of them. 2 into 8 goes 4, 2 into 4 goes 2, 2 into 2 goes once. This means that it's 2 to the power of 3. Okay, for the next question, which is 8 to the power of 4 over 3, what we're going to be doing is we're going to change the 8. The 8 is going to get changed into 2 to the power of 3. Now this rule, a rule where you have a power inside the bracket and another power outside, you're going to multiply 3 by 4 over 3. When you do this, you're going to get 12 over 3, or 2 to the power of 4. So we now know that this answer here is 2 to the power of 4. Okay. The next question on is going to be this one here. We're going to change 8 into 2 to the power of 3. We're going to change root 2 to 2 to the power of a half. The rule where we have two big numbers multiplied by each other, there's a multiplication sign in there, denoted as a point. You're going to add the powers together. So technically speaking, it's going to be 2 to the power of 3.5. And 3.5 can be written as 2 to the power of 7 over 2. 3.5 is 7 halves. Now, the next section we're going to be on here is we actually got to figure out the answers to these questions here. Now, to get the answers to these questions here, what we did in the first answer was we know that 8 to the power of 4 over 3 is 2 to the power of 4. So now we know that 2x minus 1, 2 to the power of 5x minus 1 equals 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 4. 5x minus 1 equals 4 seconds. 5x equals 4 plus 1. 5x equals 5x equals 1. Okay. Now, write down the formula for the area of a triangle. You can find this in your tables. It's a half base by height. The base is this one here on the bottom. We call this B. The perpendicular height of the triangle is called H, and that's H there. So it's going to be a half B multiplied by H. Now, the triangle shown has a base length of 2x to the power of root x, and it has a height of root x. So what we learned before is that 2x, that's x to the power of 1. We know that root x is x to the power of a half. Next thing we know is x to the power 1, when you're multiplying two of these by each other, you add the powers. So that's going to end up to be x to the power of 3 over 2. The height is root x, and root x is the same as x to the power of a half. We're now asked to find out, express the area. We're looking to find its area. Okay? The formula for area is a half base multiplied by height. What we know about the area in this question is it's going to be a half multiplied by 2 to the power of x to the 3 over 2. And we know that the height is x to the power of a half. Now, the half will cancel with the 2 because 2 times a half is 1. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to add the powers. So you're going to get x, it's going to be 3 over 2 plus a half, and that's going to give you x to the power of 4 over 2, and that answer is simply x squared. Okay? Now, you know that that's x squared. You also know for part B, the area is 81. So you know that x squared equals 81. To get x on its own, you need to square root the other side. X squared means what number when multiplied by itself will give you 81, and the answer here will be 9. Okay. This question here is express B in terms of A and C. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the left hand side of the equal sign, the left side of the equal sign has one denominator, which is B. Okay. C over 1 is the other one. So what we're going to do first and foremost is we're going to cross multiply. Bring the B up beside the C and bring the 1 up beside the 8A minus 5B. So you're going to get 8A minus 5B equals BC. Now, what I do here is I sort of like to avoid minuses if I can. That's what I'll always do. So to avoid the minuses, currently speaking, the B is plus. So if I bring the B over this way, what I'll do is I'll avoid any minuses. So I'm going to get BC plus 5B. What I'll then ask to do then is a spin. So the spin will just basically bring it around the B's to the left hand side. Is usually where we want them. Now, we still have two B's, so we're still not at the bottom of that stage. We're only at the bottom of that stage when we get one B. So we're going to get B into C plus 5 all over 8A. Shh. The next thing we're asked to do is the B is being multiplied by C plus 5. Therefore, to get B on its own, we divide 8A by C plus 5. Now, part 2 of this question asks you to calculate the value of B when A is 2 to the power of 5 over 2 and C is 3 to the power of 3. So all we have to do here is basically put 8 in here, put 2 to the power of 5 over 2 into the bracket where A was. Then we know C is 3 to the power of 3 and that's going to be plus 5. All we got to do here is actually just enter it into our calculator and see what answer it gives us out. Okay? So what we'll just do here is just pause it for a second while we calculate this. So the end of that question is going to be B is 1.41. Okay? So 1.414. And that's the end of that exercise there. Okay? Nice, Chris, 7 minutes.